pretty sure I discovered the works of H.P. Lovecraft in this book, this guidebook to science fiction, which I got sometime in the early 80s. And there's a whole chapter to the works of H.P. with these amazing illustrations of the elder ones, like there. Okay. It's only like 4 pages, but it's like, what the heck is this? And the name H.P. Lovecraft had stuck in my head. And then I actually read the books in these collections from 1985. Fell in love with them. Although, having said that, if you read all 3, one after the other, it does tend to become a little bit repetitive. There seems to be a common theme, i.e. somebody visiting a place where there is a deep, dark secret, something is hidden or something was hidden there, and usually there's a cult to do with it, and then towards the end of the story there's a big revelation, and a creature manifests itself, and it's usually how can I describe it ... So, but on their own, they are brilliant stories. I'm still awaiting the day where you get an adaptation of, like The Mountains of Madness. They keep saying Del Toro's going to do one, and I'm on board with that, as long as it's faithful. I don't want a gore fest or anything like that. Just keep the mood and the spirit and the all the undertones that are in the books. That would be great. So anyway, these are the books, and for a long time that was my last exposure. I mean, I know we had Reanimator and what have you, which were loose adaptations, but not the books. My next encounter was this game, all right, Mansions of Madness, Arkham Horror. And I bought it. I mean, this was a very long time ago. It's got to be 15 years or more ago. And I bought it to play with our son, who was only about 9 or 10 then, and he just didn't get it. So I don't think I've ever played it. I bought it for the miniatures, because it was a way of getting, Lovecraft miniatures. And stand by for an ouch moment, because I'll bring them in. This is what I was up to all those years ago, and some of them are all right. That one's kind of okay-ish, I suppose. But an awful lot of them are like, ooh, what was I thinking? I keep meaning to go back and redo these, because they do need redoing. I think I got halfway through an awful lot of them, and a lot of them are unfinished. Another problem is, I think, with the paints that I had available at the time, they just weren't very good paints, so you end up like Mr. Shiny Pants here, Maybe one day I'll go back to it. I think at some point in the last 10, 15 years, I did try and go back, and I started, and then I got distracted by something else. Like this fella, I remember I'd done him in greens and then glossed him right up, and he looked like a wet Brussels sprout. So I was going back to the black shimmering iridescent description in the book, and as you can see, I got only so far, and I moved on to something else. So that's the way it's been for a long time, and maybe one day I will go back and redo those. And our son, now he's in his mid-20s, maybe he'll want to play it now. So that was that, and that's how it all was. Now, my friend Josh, a long time back, he sent me an image of a Cthulhu game, and I think it's this one, but this mighty one, Cthulhu Death May Die. I'm going to natter, but I'm going to get the cellophane off so you don't see my ugly mug, all right? I am a Lovecraft horror, after all. He sent me an image, and I think it was this game. I think it was this game. I'm going to have to ask him. But I was down in our local game shop at the weekend. I should have asked him then and there, actually. He was there, he was playing a game. And they had it, and it's like, I'm always on the lookout for a new modelling challenge. Oh, blimey, this is heavy. Right, I've just cracked it. It's still shiny. So, yeah, this is Cthulhu Death May Die, all right? I should have read the back before taking the cellophane off. I can't turn it upside down now because I've just lifted the lid off. But basically, yeah, you are... It's a 1 to 5 player game. There's like 6 scenarios to the game. And basically you are entering a building. There are cultists in there trying to summon one of the Elder Ones. And you have to stop. You either have to stop them or you've got to get the Elder One to arrive, because only when the Elder One arrives can you kill it. I think. I've got to look into this. I've been doing some looking into it, and apparently... I didn't know this until this morning, but there's another one which is Something Forever. And that's like a core set as well, but it's got a new game mechanic to it. And apparently that's a better game to play because there's unknowns to it, all right? But crucially, and this is the reason I thought, oh no, I've got the wrong one, haven't I? If there's an updated one with new rules. But crucially, the second version of this doesn't come with the big fella himself, doesn't come with Cthulhu, and I want Cthulhu, all right? So I'm glad I got this after all. So this is a cracking on open and looking for the miniatures. I'm not going to be doing any tutorials on how to play the game or anything like that. I have no interest in that, all right? So let's open her up and let's have a look. It's a very heavy box, a big box and a heavy box. So these are your... heroes that you can choose to be. I know that there's this whole thing about you've got to keep your health up, and this is your sanity track, and if you reach that end you go insane. So you've got a whole bunch of characters there. That's the rule book. Apparently it's quite a simple game to play, so glad to hear that. Okay, that's where the Elder One goes. That's the episode, minions. Is this the good guys? No, episode monsters, so that's the monsters thing. And then, as you get with so many games now, all the tiles and counters are pre-punched. You just got to punch them out. There we go. Here we go. We're getting to the meat of it now. So these are all the episodes. Season 1, that means it's the first box set. These are all the episodes, so 6 episodes, 6 stories, and there's like a huge great of amount of variations in this as to how you go about it, what monsters are going to appear. Let me just get this out. So that's your humans in there. Loads of cards. I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to focus on these. So there's 2 of them. It's quite a pricey game, but I'm thinking it's quite an investment in models. These are lots of projects. Hastur, he looks really nifty. There he is. That's him there. Plus he has 4 disciples in this box. So you get an awful lot of miniatures and the cards for him. I know the second core set, there's new monsters and some of them are shared here as well. And this is the main reason for getting it. I love a bit of Cthulhu. I used to have a model of him, but I think I sold him years ago and always regretted it. So there you are, Cthulhu, Starspawn, etc., etc. Oh, I don't know what that is. Oh, that just counters, aren't they? I think this is the fella I'm going to do first. Again, I'll just plop the phone down and open him up. Let's have a look. So we've got cards, counters, monsters are underneath. Right, so there we go. You know what I would like? This was a Kickstarter project, and you could get like a 2 foot tall Cthulhu, but they don't go for less than like £200 now. But yeah, I wouldn't mind one of them. But these are good. These are good. I'm an umming and ahhing though. Which one do I do first? Which of all these am I going to do first? Do I start with Cthulhu? But he's like the pinnacle. I like this fella. Got to look into him. But maybe he will be my... Oh, there's a heck of a join there. Yeah, I think I might do this one first, whatever he is, and build up to Cthulhu. Yeah, let's do that. So I think what I'm going to do is, there's going to be a number of videos all being spawned from the elder ones here. I think what I'll do is, I'm going to do a figure each time, one of the big uns. So we got 4 big uns, haven't we? No, 5, including that fella. And I think what I'll do is I'll build up to Cthulhu. And what I'll do at the same time as well as painting one of the monsters, I'll do a couple of humans as well. I don't want to just do a video on humans. That would be a bit dull. But yeah, so I think what I'm going to do then, and I think I'll be starting with this fella. Yeah, let's start with this fella. Him and 2 humans, with the humans to be decided. Okay, so here's the first look at the star spawn. It's very nice to just take miniatures out of the box and you can get on with painting it. No assembly needed, thank goodness. So yeah, star spawn, the little buddy to Cthulhu, the Robin to Cthulhu's Batman, I suppose. I don't know. I'll find out when I play the game. So there he is, after a wash in soapy water and let him dry. I've had to fill in that join up there at his shoulder and over there at his shoulder, but that was it. All right, so he's ready for primer. I'll show you an image in case you don't know what this fella looks like, but that's what he looks like. And I'm going to be pretty closely following that colour scheme. I think that's really good. I'm always a bit put off by Lovecraftian monsters whose tentacles are just a mass of vibrant pinks and purples. I prefer the ickiness of this sort of shade. I've got to look into this more. I don't know if there's better images of the star spawn in the book, in the box, or if there's an art of book. That'd be really good if there's an art of book. But yeah, that's the sort of color scheme I'm going to be going for. Okay, so that's him. Then I have chosen the kid, and the reason I've chosen the kid, I thought I would try and get the most boring figures out of the way first. Having said that, I don't know if she is a boring character to play because the kid is unknown. By the way, yeah, these are the stats. And this is the backstory. And yeah, her origin is unknown. Her quote is that, except for a gleeful cackle, the kid, as she had become known, makes no other sound. And it says, she shows a special affinity for interdimensional gateways, gaining obvious strength and acumen from the proximity. This could hint at a supernatural origin for the kid. Her glee in destroying said gates and the beings they summon speaks to no allegiance. So yeah, she looks like a little kid, but there's something else going on inside. And what is this with the flaming right hand? So I'm going to be doing the kid, which is this miniature. I will not be doing the polka dots on the dress. I think I'll be doing a red dress as a nod to the artwork, but stuff that. No way. I'm not doing polka dots. No, 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 no. All right. So that's the first of the, well, I was going to say human characters, but she might not even be human. And And the other one I've chosen, he's kind of dull as well, but he might be a good character. Ahmed Yassin from Turkey. What is written is written. Yeah, and he's sort of got medical qualifications, and it says about the cults. He even joined a few in his time, the better to learn their ways and destroy them from within. All magic comes with a cost to the soul, yet he pays it gladly, viewing his sacrifice with both faith and fatalism. So that's the artwork. And there's the character. As I say, all rather dull, but this is why I'm doing the figures alongside a monster, because, oh good lord, if I was to paint all the human figures separately, that would be a bit of a slog. So I think let's get some primer on them, and let's get some base coats on, and then I'll be back. Okay, colours are starting to go on. So just a basic flesh tone for the kid. The guy in the fez. I've never painted Turkish skin tones before, so I've custom made one up. Hopefully that will do. I'll know more once I've put a wash over it. And then talking about washes, I've started on the Star Spawn, and what I've done here is the art card has all of this being a very light skin tone. So the whole face area, a bit of the shoulders, and all the tentacles are pallid witch flesh so far. All right. And for the rest of him, I've put on Reichland flesh tone. And that's because even though he's going to be green, I figure if I put just green over white, it's just going to look green. And I've experimented before with putting contrast paints over contrast paints, and it worked quite well. And I did this before, and I think it was on some trolls where I put a warm flesh tone on first, and then the green over the top, because then you get a mottling effect, and you get some of the flesh tone hopefully will show through the green. All right, so I'm just waiting for that to dry before moving on to the next step. Skin tones are done. Just got to put a bit of Carisboard Crimson in both humans' mouths. All right. I'm in an RM whether to pick out the eyes. I don't know if I can, and I don't know if I should attempt it, but I'll continue having a ponder about that. With this guy, I'm following the colour scheme, because this is rather good actually. It enables me to use colours that I don't usually use. So I've got a stockpile of paint that I never use. So yeah, time to crack out that lilac, time to crack out that ochre colour. So I'm being true to his card there. But how true am I going to go with this chap? All right. So what I've done, Nuln Oil on the face and halfway down the tentacles, trying to keep this pale face look as in the art card. I've just gone round all the eyes and put in some Reichland flesh tone just to darken down the sockets. All right. And then, because the art card, it looks like they have very dark tentacles, but there's a bit of fleshiness to them. Over the thingamajig, Dreadful Visage, I've put on Seraphim Sepia, and I've stopped halfway, all right, because that's how it appears the tentacles are to be. There's going to be a much darker colour going on the rest of that, but hopefully some of the sepia will still show through, all right. I'm in an RN about what to do about all the tentacles in there, right? The art card shows them to be almost like a dark purple, but if I do that, they're going to be lost in there. So at the moment, that's Reichland flesh shade in there, and I might go in with a light purple or Carisboard Crimson watered down, just to get a bit of redness going on in there, right? I don't know. The next thing I'm going to do is actually Hulk this guy up and put a green on, because once the green is on, I can assess how all the other colours are going to be working. And the final thing is I'm unsure what to do about his head tentacles. I mean, they are green, but I want them to be slightly different to his body. So I'm holding off at the moment. I want to see what happens next with the green, how good that looks. And if they do look all right, I'll go ahead with what I've done here, up there. But I might want them a bit more distinctive. So let's come back with him green and see what he looks like. Latest update. As I was blocking in her skirt, I realised that I hadn't painted her legs. So she's going to have white tights. All right. And then this is Creed Camo, which is nice. You can see some of the fleshy tones through it, and it's not too green. I haven't got a giant Brussels sprout again. So that's all right. I quite like that. So what I've done is I've continued the Dreadful Visage up and over for the tentacles, and when that's dry, I'll be putting more Creed Camo on. All right, so we're getting close. I just realised down in there, as I've been brushing away, I've been dabbing it on the tentacles, so I've got to do a bit of patchwork on that before I start painting the tentacles. But he's coming along so fast, and I'm really enjoying this. So, all right, I'll come back and, well, he's pretty much going to be done. I don't know about her and the other one. It's an unusual day today in that the sun is actually out, and even though I've got the curtains closed, it's very, very bright, so apologies for that. Hopefully you can, let me shield him. Hopefully you can make out, yeah, there we go. So that's, by the way, that wasn't Creed Camo, it was Plague Bearer's skin, or Poxwalker's skin. Anyway, it's the skin of a poxy thing. That's the green contrast I used, and yeah, you can see the difference in colour. That's the same colour as what's on the body is on the tentacles, but the tentacles were whitewashed with Dreadful Visage. So yeah, quite a difference. Well, next time the lighting will be different, and hopefully you'll be able to see a bit better. The other bit of progress is on the tentacles. I've washed the tentacles with a very thinned down mix of Shyish Purple. Shyish Purple is a very strong purple, and I've mixed it like 10 parts contrast medium to 1 part of it, and I've just washed the tentacles because that gives me a staining of the tentacles purple. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, but I'm only going to go about 3/4 up from the end in a stronger mix, and then another mix of it neat on the very end. So I want the end of the tentacles to be almost black, just like they are in the illustration. Talking about the illustration, something I hadn't noticed is in the artwork for this chap, his feet and legs right up pretty much to his knees is a purple colour as well. So what I've done there, I'm going to do there as well. And then it's a case of picking out his fingernails and toenails in green, as in the illustration, and then picking the eyes out, and we'll almost be done. The girl, I have done her eyes, and she's looking a bit odd. I don't know whether they just stay with that. They're a bit lopsided as well, I can see, looking through the camera here. So I'm going to have a think about that. And I'm in the process of just washing and then highlighting her dress. Got to decide what I'm going to do with this flame affair. And this chap, I've just got to do his, again, you can see I've picked his eyes out. I'm going to try and put pupils in. Oh, come on. His shirt, tie and fez are done, and I've just washed his suit. I've just got to dry brush that, put a wash of something over his briefcase, and he's got a a natty pair of spats, and I've got to paint them. All right, so I don't know if I'm going to come back with everyone finished, or there's one more stage to go. I don't know, but I'll be back in a sec. Okay, not far off. I have put in the eyes, I've decided, and I've just been dry brushing his suit and done his shoes. So I'm not going to put texture medium on any of these bases. I'm just going to paint them black. So he's pretty much done. The girl, again, I've picked out her eyes as well. Almost done. I've just got to finish off the flame effect. These are two Games Workshop contrasts, a yellow and then an orange, and I'm just going to go back with a regular yellow paint and just highlight the edging in there a little bit. Just got to finish off her shoes and paint her base, and then she's done. And yeah, the big chap, well, he's pretty much done. All I got to do now is I've got to gloss up the inner bit and the tentacles, and then his base, and he's done, and that'll be my first batch done. So I'll come back with them done. And there we have them. The final thing to do, as I say, was to put the gloss varnish on the tentacles, make them lovely and icky. And there we go. That's my first 3 done. All been really good fun, but I think what's helped is he's the main fun part, doing him and working out how I was going to do him. These two, less so. And I think that's the right tactic to do, is do these figures all in batches and have one very interesting monster with a couple of regular human types. Otherwise, I can't imagine what a slog it would be to just do the humans all in one go. That would be tedious. So there we go. That's them done. As I'm recording this, I've already started my second batch, and I've got out the third set to do. So there's going to be quite a regular series from me now, devoted to these Cthulhu figures, and yeah, I'm really enjoying, looking forward to doing them all.